I want to talk about when we miraculously came back to do Fuller House.
Yeah.
What a surreal, incredible experience that was.
Absolutely.
I remember who I first heard about it, the rumblings about it. It was from Mud Stamos.
Right.
Who did you first hear about it?
From Jeff and John, because, Candace and Andrea and I were in all the pitch meetings, and we were, because, that they were kind of building the story around the three girls at this point.
Right.
They had come to us and said, would you guys even want to do it?
Right.
And I think I have a picture of us from somewhere, maybe the Warner Brothers commissary or some restaurant or something.
Yeah.
From me, Candace, and Andrea from the first meeting that we had, and it had been a little bit since we'd seen each other, not years, but I don't know. But we got together, and I have a picture of us from that first meeting when we were just talking about, would you even want to do this?
Yeah, because John and Jeff were kind of hinting like, hey, there's a thing going. Are you interested? And I said, well, if there's a deal, just call me back, but I'm going to go
I think it was a matter of getting it from Warner Brothers and pitching it and all this stuff. But yeah, we were, the three girls, we were there for all of the meetings and all the pitch meetings. And, we were amazed that we had as many meetings and people were like, nah, I don't think we'll.
Yeah, because it was discussed at ABC.
ABC Family.
Right. And they
TBS,
turned it down.
Yeah.
They all turned it down, and then Netflix said, okay, let's do it.
Yeah, from kind of a failed pitch at Nickelodeon, I think.
And we ended up who broadcast like the People's Choice Awards? Was it ABC or one of those?
I think so.
Where we won, and they're like thinking,
Right. Yeah,
do you remember turning this show down? Yeah.
Yeah, and that was such a cool moment, like, to get to come back and win that, because we were never a critic's choice. We were always a People's Choice show. We were always something that our audience really, really loved.
And nominated for an Emmy too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was retribution. It was sweet.
It really was.
It was very sweet, because in the beginning we were panned by critics. I mean,
I don't know. In the beginning, middle, and end. Really.
Really.
But we knew what our audience was, and we knew how beloved the show was.
Yeah, and I remember when we premiered that first night on Netflix. They were saying that other networks' numbers went down by like 20%.
Yeah.
I remember talking to somebody who said, it's really incredible how you guys came back. And it was really kind of the first show to kind of come back,
I'd say it was one of the first like real successful reboots that like was done in a way that wasn't just bringing the old show back, but bringing the characters to a new place.
And you and Andrea and Candace were amazing. You guys really were. I was like a proud father. Like seeing you guys and how you tackled the comedy and how you just like seamlessly walked back into these characters and were so funny. And just, it was, I'm tearing up because it was just such a wonderful moment for me. I was like so proud of you guys.
Yeah.
The way that you tackled scenes. I mean, you guys just with reckless abandon jumped in and just, went after it.
Yeah.
And it was just
Fuller had a lot of physical comedy.
Yeah.
We had a lot of bigger bits, I'd say, than even Full House.
That's where I'm leading to is when you guys really tackled stuff, you went for it.
Yeah.
And it just was like, I'm like so proud of you guys, It
was wonderful.
And then you and I both got to direct.
Yeah.
I ended up directing 6 of them, which I loved.
Because when Serious Dave would come to set.
Well, because I have that weird brain.
Well, I mean, I get it. Sometimes you got to be like,
but
professional.
It was so fun directing you guys too, because it was like, not only was it a blast, it was fun because it was you guys, but I knew that you were going to just go after the comedy.
Yeah.
So if I even suggested something, you guys were up to, right. And I was like, God, this is easy.
Yeah.
You guys were so easy and fun to direct. Like a director's dream job was directing you guys.
Thank you. And it was, we really, that was what we wanted. We were so committed to the show and to making it the best version of the show that we could possibly do.
And is directing something that you'd like to pursue? Did you really enjoy it?
I absolutely loved it.
Because you have the same brain. You have a very techie side brain.
Yeah.
A creative side brain too.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
You
just can't talk. That's all.
I just can't or walk. No, absolutely. And I fell in love with directing, and it was an opportunity also for me to get to do something that at some point in my life I had told myself that I wasn't capable of doing. And so
really, that's interesting.
Yeah, I went when I first started college, which was just kind of a rough period of time for me anyway. I was a film major because what else did I know how to do? And I went to Chapman University, which was a great film school, but I was struggling, and I remember I decided to drop out of being a film student because I remember looking around and thinking that these other kids had more of a passion for it than me. They knew that somehow like I'd just grown up in it, but that I needed to step back now, and kind of told myself that that wasn't for me. And so getting to come back as an adult on the very same stage with the very same people and get to do that. And I talked about it when they gave me my little director clapboard because I said, this is a moment for me.
Was that Peter Roth? Did Peter Roth come over? And
Peter Roth
he was
came
so
over,
lovely.
and I told the story, and I look over, and he's like almost crying because I said, I told myself that this was all of this was not a possibility for me anymore.
And I would have never said that about you. I would have said, Jodie's going to be fantastic.
No, and it was it's taken me a long time to come back to all the things where I'm like, oh no, I can do this, and I actually love it. And I'm planning on directing hopefully a rom-com at some point this year with a production company that I've been working with, and I'm writing stuff. And I had a lot of big directing plans for after Fuller House ended, but then it was 2020, and I literally had meetings in the first 2 weeks of March, and then it was like, well, we'll circle back.
The business might stop.
Right,
like the whole world might come crashing down.
So that sort of was a weird little delay, but it's just been a rerouting is all. So I'm still there.
I hope you do it. I hope you do it because I think you'd be fantastic.
Thank you.
Do people know how clumsy you are?
Yes.
When's the last time you fell?
This morning, going up the stairs. I all the time. I fall in my house. I run into things.
Because we used to think that was funny. Like Jodie's going to come through and fall.
Right, come through and fall. And what I have learned is that people with ADHD brains, are incredibly clumsy, particularly as children.
You broke your ankle.
Well, I broke my ankle as an adult on Fuller. But that because we are never quite in our bodies, we're like 5 steps ahead of ourselves. And that was, when I figured that out, I went, oh my God, it makes so much sense. It's why when I'm dancing, fine.
Yeah.
Because there's so much going on and movement in it. But it's when I'm walking, I'm not paying attention to that. I'm worrying about the next thing.
I've seen it happen.
Yeah, and I still do it.
You were talking about our little set here. No one has really talked about it, but you were talking about it earlier.
I love it. Yeah. We've got the Full House cookbook.
And I'm not sure if Andrea or Karen Miller brought that one.
Oh.
So Karen Miller had a copy of it as well.
My mom uses it often for several recipes in there.
Still?
Yep.
I don't even know how to respond to that. That is just, that's lovely.
Robin Donnie's teriyaki chicken wings have made many an appearance they're delicious.
Robin Donnie. Have you seen her?
I have not.
She was lovely. She was so funny. Yeah. I always thought she'd be a really funny comedic actress.
Yeah, me too.
I know she was doing improv, maybe Groundlings or something like that.
Yeah, I believe so.
She was really funny. She was
one of our stand-ins. And
yes, she was. Yeah. She was. Can we talk about your podcast?
We can.
Yeah, it's How Rude Tanneritos.
Yep.
And it's you and Andrea. And it's doing very well. And when we did this show, your show came out at the same time and people were like, aren't you upset? And I was like, no.
Yeah.
No.
We were like, it's 2 very different types of shows.
It's 2 different shows. It's 2 different perspectives.
For sure.
Because we were kind of in 2 orbiting, 2 planets orbiting around each other sometimes during Full House. Yeah. you know, we talked about it. You know, you guys were in the classroom and we'd be out working and then
we had
we'd be gone.
the kid experience, and you guys, it's like finding out what was happening behind the scenes of your family.
Yeah.
There was the adult experience, and then there was what you and the kids and the cousins were doing.
Yeah. And so people were like, I was like, I'm happy for that. Are you kidding me? Like, there's so much Full House fandom, and it's cut such a wide swath, a huge demographic over generations now. It's like there's plenty to talk about.
There's plenty to talk about, and your show, it lends itself much more to being watched. And we, we record audio and little snippets of video.
And you guys are so funny together.
And it's I mean, I just enjoy watching the show back and picking out all of the things that I know that the audience is going, what?
Right.
Right.